Hi there, beautiful people.
We are awesome Ukrainians. Welcome to our channel, guys.
Welcome. And in the light of an upcoming holiday, Easter, we thought it would be pretty appropriate to talk about this holiday in our countries, the United States and Ukraine, our home country, the difference in traditions, rituals, and such.
We Ukrainians who live in the United States, we can celebrate twice every holiday or almost every holiday. So the upcoming March 31st, it will be the traditional American, and we are all getting ready. And our Ukrainian traditional Easter, we are going to celebrate way later in May 5th. So such a gap in it's going to be 6 weeks.
Do you remember how your family celebrated Orthodox Easter?
Yeah, that was actually one of my favorite holidays because I remember that we would gather at my mom's home, even when we were like adults and moved out from parents' house, and we would dye eggs and we would bake classy Ukrainian traditional Pascha bread for this holiday, and we would feast all day long for the Easter day. What about your home?
Well, my family, my mom and dad were not so religious, so we didn't do all this. I mean, we didn't follow traditions very strictly, but when we went to my grandma's, especially my dad's ma, she was baking all week round because it's a tradition in Ukraine, first, that you need to try 12 different paschas, which is a sweet bread with candied fruit or more often with raisins, with dried raisins. And with the icing on top of it, like sugar icing on top of it. So
that was the best part. Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah.
You crumble it and or when it's already dry, you just kind of take a piece of it and chew. And it's tradition to try, to sample 12 different paschas from different housewives,
recipes.
Say so. Yeah, from different women. Because it would allegedly kind of promise you luck and happiness throughout the year. So my grandmas, they baked and they were, pulling out piping hot pascas. It was cool. Also, this egg game, who hits first
competition.
Do you remember the rules?
Yes.
Yeah, when you the rules of that game, you need to hit with the egg and crack someone else's egg, but yours should stay intact. And that means that you won and that you will have all the fortune and luck in the next year to yourself.
I was going to add that I remember that in my household when I was much younger, my mom would bake a lot of small Pascha bread to exchange with neighbors, with friends, even going to the church. And yes, I would like to say that my family, we grew up not very much into religion, but this was probably the main holiday that no matter what, we would go early in the morning to the church, and that passed through my young adulthood, that even with friends, we would gather and go, because it wasn't just the tradition that was dictated by religion and by church. It was a fun and very interesting tradition for us.
Especially for kids, because I think that if we make this comparison with Italian bread, panettone, maybe those American people that never tried Ukrainian Pascha can at least imagine this taste, this flavor, if they tried panettone. So it was pretty well done. Kids just loved it. I loved it. I loved that holiday just because of the sweet bread. And you said, right, that I think that Slavic people are not so much religious nowadays because the Soviet times contributed to it, and the communists kind of exterminated religion intentionally.
I even remember some, so in our part, we were almost in the end of Soviet Union. I remember you mentioned that you were in third or fourth
I was
grade
like
when
10 or
and I was just in the first grade in the grade school. However, talking to my parents, my mom told me the story that during the Soviet Union, they had in a small town in a rural area,
Mhm.
their gym for gym class.
Mhm.
They had the church building. It was converted from the church into the gym. Um, it- the only thing that you could understand that was used to be a church, the building was shaped as a cross from the top of the building.
Mhm.
But of course, from the sides, you couldn't understand it looked just a part of the school.
Yeah, they
So
converted those churches into different types of like for different gatherings, like political gatherings and such. And I think that it was more like obvious and present in big cities or urban areas, but somewhere very, very deep in villages, people just try to save that like religiosity of theirs, right?
a little bit preserving. And I know that in the big cities, it was such a big deal even to find who would baptize your child.
Mhm.
And, based maybe not on parents' beliefs, but grandparent beliefs, they could bring this baby somewhere in a village and secretly baptize.
Yeah. But I was baptized during Soviet times in 1982. I was born in kind of small town. It's not very small by American standards,
Right.
but it was kind of small by Ukrainian standards. So I think like by that time it was not that strict anymore, but still, yeah. And that's the one of the main differences between Ukrainian religiosity and American, that even here we have this name, the Bible Belt, for the states where people especially religious. I'm not sure because I can count on my fingers those people who I knew in Ukraine who went to church each Sunday. And here it's in Georgia, for example, we can see so many people exiting the churches on Sundays.
Here in the United States, I've met several good Catholic people. And from my understanding, they go to the church on Sundays, not actually because they are going to follow certain religious processes or pray at the church. They're gathering with their families, friends, and they exchange how their day went through. They have breakfast or brunch together. It's just fun Sunday, and it's like a socialization for Catholic people. Yes, that's why I never found myself back home in Ukraine going to church and that often because I do believe in God. I do pray. I do talk to God when the God has time for me and I have time for God. And usually it's every day, but we have this connection. And in my understanding, because the traditional Orthodox Church has way more rules and regulations, especially for women, I never found myself like wanting to go. So I guess only Easter was part that day when me, my friends, and families we were attending the church. What about you?
Yeah, so I said that I'm not religious, like more agnostic and my family, but it's not true. We are not religious in terms of visiting church regularly, not exactly going to the house of God, because as you mentioned, the rules in Orthodox Church are very strict and they're making the relationship with God so uptight. And so my impression was always that either you go to church on holidays and like follow all those very accurate steps. You cannot go first there and lit this candle here or do this here. You just need to make like the ceremony very precise. Or another case, when people went to church, they were lamenting, and that place was more like mournful for me than celebrating God. So I didn't
Right.
feel comfortable there, right? So yeah, I wouldn't say maybe first time I stopped going to church when I was around 10, almost pass out in church because of this frankincense smell, right?
Plus, you have to stand. So, in traditional Orthodox church, no places to sit. Everybody has to stand. And this is the rule of the Orthodox religion in the God's house. Everybody has to stand.
Yeah.
Which the difference I found for myself, and I attended several churches here in the United States as I was invited by my friends to their churches. I was impressed and pleased that everybody have a place to sit and rest, way more comfortable for people who are just physically don't have an ability to stand for an hour or more. It's so way more relaxed and comfortable, and the music, the people, the smiles, it just feeling
Inspiring.
that it's a God's house, not something that you need to be strict and sad for some reason.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we should mention first that sometimes liturgy might last about 4 hours. So you're just standing all the time, listening to the church choir, I mean, and you listen to those prayers, you read the prayers with priest.
Господи помилуй, Господи помилуй, Господи помилуй, Господи.
Ему, гряди по мне.
Господа, благослови мне сей Господи.
Юлии мои.
You cannot go as a woman, you cannot go there with uncovered head. So you need to have some sort of a like
Know how they call this here? That's funny, but what I
Babushkas.
heard, babushka.
But it's not called, yeah, it's not called like this in Ukraine. And the other thing that you cannot go there wearing pants. So technically, if you're a woman, you go there, you buy from or you take for free and then you return, or you buy from those women at the church gates, the large shawls that you need to wrap around your waist to kind of like on top of your pants to imitate the skirt.
Mhm.
And if you're a woman, you cannot go to the church on your certain days. So because
Right.
you are considered dirty these days to enter the God's house, right? So those are not very usual exceptions for the Catholic Church. But I don't know, we have around 25% of Catholics in Ukraine, right? Because the western part of Ukraine is mostly
Yes.
Catholic.
Mhm.
So it's like 30,
I'm not
40.
not sure about percentage, but yeah, I think that depends on the territory. It's a lot of well, basically the majority of the country is Christianity. But
Mhm.
yeah, we have Orthodox Church, we have um,
Catholic, Orthodox, then
Catholic, and
Protestant.
we have a big population, especially in Central, is Jew,
Yeah.
which they have absolutely different traditions. However, that was interesting thing because I did work with many Jew people due to financial background, and many of them prefer these professions. They lovely, not like celebrate, but they do accept and eat pascha and eggs because not of the religion, but because of the taste of those
It's
goodies.
so tasty. Yeah. So
Mhm.
we have different confessions there. So but mostly yeah, Orthodox and Catholic churches.
I want to ask you about land. Have you ever followed the land?
No, never, never. Did you?
Again, meeting and my best friend, my best American friend, she is Catholic, same as her family. It's a big family. Mom and dad, her mom and dad, they have 13 kids. And I got honored to meet each of those people, beautiful people. And so, of course, interacting with them through those years that I've been here, almost 8 years, I've learned from them that they all follow the land.
Mhm.
However, through those years, I've learned that the Catholic land is way more laid back
Uh-huh.
compared to Orthodox.
Uh-huh.
In Orthodox land, you are not supposed to eat any product of like eggs, milk,
Yeah.
cheese. You cannot eat
Meat.
anything.
Mhm.
In Catholic land, you can eat everything, but
meat.
not on Friday.
Okay, on Friday.
And on Friday, you can eat fish, shrimp, lobster, etc. So, speaking about this, and my apology for my cough, I'm just recovering from my bad cold, but feeling just fine. But this is just some leftovers of upper respiratory. So tomorrow we are gathering for fish fry. Every Friday they do it either at church or school or just simply at home. They do fish fry. They deep fry fish and adding other salads and other goodies on the table. This is traditional thing compared to, or you can eat, as I said, anything that made from eggs or just not beef, pork, or I believe, not sure about chicken, so I won't say this. So I guess if I would grow up in a Catholic family, I might follow the land because it's way easier to follow.
You might be more comfortable than with the Catholic traditions, right? Comparing to Orthodox. And also, speaking of Lent, so our people stop fasting right before Easter. I mean, on Sunday, they start eating everything. And before, it was considered a norm to have around 40 different recipes or dishes on their table. It could be like sausages and hot dogs and meat, jello, different types of salads, and I mean, tons of our Ukrainian recipes there, but now definitely no one cooks that much and that many dishes anymore. Do you remember where this tradition comes from to dye eggs to make this krashenka, or we call it krashenka, right?
Krashenka. I remember reading about these. That was something about changing the colors by some magic. And since then, we were dyeing eggs. And, actually, you probably know more about this, but I want to mention that I have one egg, and you guys see my little composition about I gathered all stuff. Well, actually I have way more in the house. I just gathered a little bit closer here. So I have this krashenka. Of course it's not from a real egg, but this is that was made from wood, but technically it's what traditionally in probably grandma's time, it's what each egg was like a piece of art.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that it's more like pisanka than krashenka, because krashenka it's like all plain color, and this is called pisanka. So we have two different types of decorating.
However, I remember that we were doing like with little brushes as kids, we would decorate each egg separately.
Yeah, and you could put leaves or some like flowers to make this imprint. When you wrap with the thread, and it was boiled with the onion husk, so it gave it color, and it was like very natural and like not chemical type of like decorating those eggs.
I think that the last time when we did this, probably a good 25 years ago when I was a little kid. Since then, I think that we have been buying the actual just color.
Now you have those stickers, not even stickers, but some sort of a string.
That plastic wrapping that you set around the egg and boil, and because it melts, it kind of covers, hugs the egg and creates like a nice ornament.
And speaking of this tradition of dyeing eggs, it goes long back to the Roman Empire. Maria Magdalena came to the Emperor Tiberius and said that, and she couldn't go empty-handed there to meet the emperor, but she wanted to go there and bring the news that Jesus Christ resurrected, risen. And when she told that news to him, he said, "No way, it's not possible that someone would like rise from the dead. And this is not possible. Like this egg could change its color, and it immediately changed its color to red or something like this. According to that legend, people just started to dye eggs. This is what I remember reading.
So I think that in Orthodox religion, Easter, it kind of takes pre-religious history.
Yeah, some paganism.
So it's like band together with legends and beliefs, and up to nowadays. However, everything about the Easter holiday, it's about Jesus. Remember, when you're going at any time of the day, 5 in the morning, towards to the church, or 5 p.m. the same day, just walking on the street. No matter what, every person that you see on the street, you say, Christ is risen. This person would answer.
He is indeed risen, right?
Right.
We should probably also share with our audience, what are they doing with those baskets with all those goodies and food and eggs and Pascha bread there in church?
Yeah, I remember that we had this huge basket that me and my mom had to even carry together. And yes, the church was right down on the street, so we didn't drive, or no way taking a bus at 4 in the morning. So we were just walking there, same as all neighbors. So that was so interesting that 4 in the morning, usually it's the end of April or May, so it's pretty warm outside. It's a true spring, maybe just the light jackets. So probably I would say this early in the morning, probably 50 plus degrees. Just give our audience some idea what is the weather.
Yeah, Fahrenheit, because we measure it in Celsius.
And you have probably a few feet away all your neighbors, all your friends who are all going to the same church. So this is just a fun ritual just to get to the church. And you carry this basket and you put all fun stuff and tasteful stuff, your paschas, your sala. And who doesn't know what is this? It's a pork. It's salted pork. The best ever.
Pork belly, right? Pork belly.
Yes. We do keep it on salt, so it's kind of ready to slice and eat. Maybe some kind of summer sausage, how we call it here. Of course, krashenki, dyed eggs. And of course, we had to get those. Do you remember those tall and thin
candles, correct?
Candles. And while you're carrying, you already try to light a couple candles. So this is like a magic walk to the church. So for me, in my memories, that was so fun and interesting and so magic.
But also, maybe you forgot to mention that the main point of bringing that to the church was that the priests, they kind of like sprinkle this holy water, like
right, and we would stand outside because so many people would gather, so that you cannot just get inside the church. So we stand on a big circle around the church, and this priest with his helpers carry the holy water and just sprinkle to your face and to your goodies in your holy basket. So then, of course, you're fully awake and ready to eat your stuff. And then you're just so excited to get home and slice all your goodies and eat. And the first piece of food that you need to eat this morning is holy Pascha bread.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound very strict now to our audience. You mentioned that all those Christianity traditions go back to paganism, to like hidden people. We followed the cycles of the nature, and then it evolved in the Christianity traditions. But even the American tradition of Easter Bunny, for instance, it was a symbol of the goddess of fertility. I was very surprised living in Ukraine, even though I had so many friends who went to the United States back then, like several times, and they were familiar with some traditions. Not everyone, I would say few, knew about this Easter Bunny tradition. What about you? Because I knew about this since I was so enthralled by the American culture for like decades. And that's why I was familiar with this. But yeah, I was very surprised to find out not everyone was aware of it.
For me, to be honest, even before moving here to the United States, I was not familiar much with Easter bunnies and hunting eggs outside. How usually it's done here, kids are finding all eggs that parents or other relatives would hide around the yard. However, even in my mind, it's still not correlating to my understanding of Easter and Jesus. I do respect this. I believe that was brought to the United States with German immigrants. And as you said, it emphasizes and tells the story, old story, legend story about new life, spring is coming. So I kind of just fell in love with this part, and as you can see, I have bunnies and egg tree with bunnies and all my Ukrainian and American, and I have way more around the house. I just couldn't bring everything to my office. So I love all this part, and I think that the beauty of America, that this is a melting pot. All traditions are brought together, but I think that our audience was happy to hear about how we do celebrate Easter in Ukraine.
So Ola, maybe we can take a closer look at all those souvenirs that you have here.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff in my house, and this is, I gathered in my office, just one of my favorite pieces. This is a traditional American Easter tree with those beautiful little eggs and bunnies. I actually got this, I believe, in Walmart several years ago, and I still love it.
So adorable.
Of course, I have several bunnies, and this one is my favorite. It's a soft bunny that I got in TJ Maxx. And you can see, guys, that I truly fell in love with, and I mix Ukrainian and American Easter celebration. So bunny is very much part of my household traditional Easter. Of course, I already showed you, this is not particularly a pisanka. This is not krashenka, this is pisanka. So this is more detailed, different ornaments. This is not a real egg, this is made from wood.
And are you going to make this on your own this season for this holiday? Will you kind of decorate?
I'm going to do some pisankas or krashenkas. You're confusing me. So I'll dye eggs and I'll bake some pasca bread. At least it's what my plan. And if I'm going to proceed, in reality, I'll make the short video for you. So I will share. I'll have a true proof that I did this.
Yeah, because you know, like doing this with all those tiny details, it's very time consuming and you should be very precise. And as you might know, we went last summer with my parents-in-law to Milwaukee in Wisconsin, where they had the Polish festival. So they had a master class there, and the way they were ornamenting that egg was very close to Ukrainian. We actually share lots of things in common with Polish people. And I thought that maybe like in some sort of art therapy, I would definitely do it one time on my own.
For sure. Arts and crafts, it's a lot of energy exchange, focusing on details, and it's like almost like meditation. To my understanding. Exactly. And I want to share, I have those little lady and gentleman. This is Ukrainian traditional. It's made from true wood. So it's like the tradition that man covers the woman.
And does the woman cover, like has the baby inside? Yeah.
Yay.
The entire family.
So it's a little family, yeah. And traditionally, yeah, decorated with some Ukrainian ornaments around. And I have all over the house bunch of stuff that has Ukrainian, because I've been home since I moved here several times. So every time when I went back, I would bring home some Ukrainian stuff. Mostly materials that are used is natural materials like wood. And I'm not sure what they use for dyes, but as a kid, I attended this Petrikovska Rospis.
Yeah, it's Petrikovska.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I keep this talent still in my hands because it's very outdated, but truly can say have this class done and at least used to know how to do all these decorations. Maybe one day I could start over and maybe improve myself. This beautiful hay composition is also one of the Ukrainian traditions that Ukraine is one of the has one of the best soil and rich dirt. So we have a joke: if you spit something into this dirt, something will grow.
Yeah. That's why we have so many different compositions with the wheat stalks in it, because it's so symbolic for us. We know that America is the country of immigrants, and so many immigrants came from Europe, like like several generations back, or just very recently. And I was a little bit surprised at first that my mother-in-law knew about all those Orthodox traditions, like, bumping eggs, or having this sweet bread on the table and such, and saying Christ is risen, he's indeed risen, because she's half Greek, and Greek people are also Orthodox Christians.
Right.
I mean, not all of them probably, but the majority.
In majority.
Yeah, the majority of them. So please leave your comments below if you knew anything about this Ukrainian Orthodox rituals, traditions, and I don't know.
If you have any suggestions or questions, it's the best communication way with us. Just leave your comment or leave your question. And that would be the great source of ideas for me and Ksenia to create the new video. And we have so much traditions and thoughts that we would love to share with you, dear people. Oh, I see some fireworks behind me. Do you see it? No?
Zoom is actually celebrating it with us.
Yay! And of course, guys, please smash this like button below. That will help our channel to grow. And also, if you think that this video was interesting and useful and informative, please share this with your friends, because this way our channel can grow and we can gather more ideas to share our knowledge with you about us, awesome Ukrainians.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe and click on that small bell icon below the notification button, so that not to miss our future videos. And now we're wrapping up and saying goodbye to you, our dear friends. До побачення!
До побачення!
See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.